Hey guys, Scott with Flip and Customize. Behind me we have an 01 Honda Rubicon 500. We're going to do a basic oil change on this thing today and walk you through the steps, starting with step one, get the engine warm, because up here in New England, it's freaking cold, oil don't flow well. These do hold a ton of oil. There's a warning for you. Make sure you get enough, buy an oil change kit, and I'll show you that in a minute, because it's a hydraulically driven transmission, they hold a lot. So let me get this thing warmed up in the shop and we'll get started. All right, in the shop, what you can do, and you can get this stuff anyways, you can get it from your dealer, whatever you would like to do. Get that oil. I run Honda oil in the Hondas just because, why not? Because it's the right thing to do and that's what they spec out. This is a 1040 oil change kit for this machine right here. And it comes with a Honda oil filter. Actually, I buy this kit on eBay because it ends up being the cheapest place around, and 5 quarts of oil, which should be enough to take care of this oil change. Besides that, you're also going to want to get yourself a 17mm ratchet and socket. There's a drain plug underneath, the oil filter is also underneath, and there's an additional drain underneath. Of course, a drain pan to make sure you have enough capacity to hold 5 quarts of oil. And some rags, because likely, at least with me, we're gonna make a mess. So let me get underneath there and I'll show you where the drains are. All right, we're underneath the machine. The skid plate's not on it. Most of them will have a skid plate on it. There's a drain plug here. So all right, let me move my massive light over here. Here's a drain plug here, 17mm. That's your main drain. Directly in front of that is a oil filter housing with another 17. Nope, sorry, that's probably a 13 or 14. I'll double check that. And then one additional drain for the reservoir tank, which is also a 17. So let's get the oil draining out of the main, then we'll head for the secondary and the filter. I never make a mess, so I can't imagine that we're gonna make a mess today with this. That's a complete lie, just so you know. And you're gonna have your ratchet going the right way. If it's excessively muddy, make sure your pan's there. Go ahead and clean it off underneath. This is like stained with dirt from riding up north, but there you have it, and did it with minimal drippage, which is amazing from me. And the oil filter housing, let me get that size next. All right, now that the main drain is draining, mostly drained, excuse me, the size for the filter housing is actually a 12, so I had to make 4 trips to go check this thing out, so you didn't have to. So that's why we watch these how-to videos. But anyway, loosen it up. The housing itself, if it doesn't just come down automatically, you might have to tap it with like a soft base hammer, which is not what I have right here, but hopefully I won't have to use it. So we'll get this screw out of here. And again, likely going to make a mess because I'm holding the camera and doing this. So that's the way it works. So almost out of there. And once this is out and out of the way, so there you go. Set that aside, preferably not on the dirty ground like I just did, and see if the housing itself comes loose. Which this one's not. So with that being said, I'm gonna set the camera down, make sure I'm pointing at it, and give it a tap. Or 2. Jeez, that thing's on there. They do get stuck. If I could hit the housing and not the frame, I'd be doing much better. Holy crapola. Alright, went to the small pry bar because I don't want to beat this thing with a hammer too badly. So get on the flange and drop it right in your oil pan. So we do have our filter out. Let me pull it out here in the light and I'll show you what we're dealing with for the housing while that drains. And then while those two are draining, we're gonna go ahead and take the third drain out, which is another 17 right here. So all three can be draining, and I'll show you the filter. All right guys, here is the actual assembly right here for you got your oil filter housing. This goes up through it as far as mounting it goes. They do have O-rings on it. The filter does not come with a new O-ring itself. So this goes up through, then the housing, then the spring, then there's a washer on top of that, then your new filter. Put it all up there as an assembly and screw it on there like a balancing act. Now, it's not bad if you just slide the housing over the bolt, and then the spring, then the washer, then the filter. So we're gonna go ahead and get that packaged up and back on there. There's our new filter right there. This thing was in pretty desperate need of an oil change. So make sure everything's clean, all the surfaces are clean and wiped down before you put it together. I don't know how much of that you can see, but the assembly's all on there now. So we go ahead and put that right back up into the housing, like so, and screw it all back together. So again, 12 millimeter, you get it started by hand, then get your 12 millimeter, make sure that housing is going in there, and tighten it all down, which I will do now. Drain plugs I did put back in. You want to torque those down. Again, one in the back, one in the front, torque those down, then we'll get to filling this beast. All right, on the right side of the machine, you have a fill, which is your big cap, which is what we're about to do, and a dipstick, a small cap here. That is how you check your level itself. So again, it's gonna be around a 5-quart oil change, roughly. The size of that dipstick. And but we're gonna fill it through here. So get yourself a funnel, again, some rags. Fill this baby up. Make sure the funnel's clean. We're gonna go ahead and dump about 4 quarts in it. We're gonna check the level and see where we're at. Again, the most affordable way to do this, honestly, is to buy an oil filter change kit, which comes with your filters, your oil filter, filters, oil filter and oil. And again, we chose to use the actual Honda kit, which is a 1040. That's why it's been sitting in the shop, which is only like 50. So it's a little thick, but we'll go ahead and get the rest of these in and check our level. All right, so what we've done is we put 4 quarts in, filled it up, checked the dipstick. It was right at the right level. It's probably not full, but it's completely full in the reservoir. And then went ahead and started the machine. Let the machine run and idle for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute, then shut it off. Let things settle out now that's been circulated through the engine, recheck your levels, and we'll go ahead and finish topping it off. One other thing to mention, this thing's got a massive dipstick on it. Down there, it's you're in trouble mark, but your full marks are right up here near the top. So that reservoir remains pretty much mostly full. So we'll go ahead and, it did drink some, so it's down where about my thumb is, so we're gonna add about another ½ quart and recheck it, and we should be just about done. All right, she's full. Like I said, we started it, let it idle, shut it off, let things settle out for about 5 minutes, then rechecked our levels. Had to add more than 5 quarts, so do yourself a favor. My mistake, I did buy an oil change kit. It is 5 quarts, and the filter is not enough for my machine, at least from what I hear. Double check with your owner's manual. Obviously, that's the best way to do it. Not necessarily winging it sometimes like I do, just from past experiences. Get yourself another quart. I had a gallon jug of the 1040 Honda here anyway, so I was able to top it off. Mine ended up taking about 5.5, 5.6 quarts or so. It depends how long you let it drain. One other thing I do want to mention too, my oil change light was not on for this service, but if your oil change light was on and it was requiring an oil change, you press these 2 buttons at the same time and it basically just resets the oil change light. So you see how it just flashed there? Boom, it reset the oil change light. So just like a car, and this thing holds more oil than most cars, that's how you do it. All right guys, that's it in a nutshell. Today we did a basic oil change service on this 2001 Honda Rubicon 500. And again, I did say 5 quarts of oil at the beginning because I did buy an oil change kit and I couldn't remember. It's closer to 6 quarts, so get yourself 6 quarts, have them on hand. Refer to your owner's manual always. This is also a good time on your drain screws, your drain plugs, to replace that crush washer, and depending on the kit you get, they'll come with that as well. So we went through the drain, the fill, the filter change, resetting the oil change light. I hope this helped you out. Pick up a couple little tidbits, learn from my lessons learned. Get yourself a 12 millimeter socket and a 17 millimeter socket. and a little pry bar and a soft face hammer, unlike what I used, and you should be able to complete this right at home in your driveway or in your shop without paying a dealer to do it. Save yourself some money. So if you like the video, please subscribe, help us grow. Thanks again. Flippin' Customized.